Hello, I'm Jen Moore, Music of the Baroque's program annotator, and we've arrived at the last installment of Baroque Notes for our 54th season and our final concert, Celestial Voices. I'm going to take you on a brief journey through the shifting soundscape of early sacred music, from the serene stillness of Renaissance polyphony to the Baroque era's brilliance. We'll explore how composers from different eras and confessional backgrounds answered the same essential question: how do we express the sacred in sound? We begin in 16th century England with Thomas Tallis, a composer who managed to serve four monarchs across a period of wild religious upheaval. Though a Catholic, Tallis composed for both Catholic and Protestant liturgies. His canon, known today as Tallis's canon, was written around 1561 for a metrical psalter, a songbook of psalms intended for a congregation, beginning with a single melody that is then imitated in a staggered fashion by all the voices. Tallis's canon is a model of graceful austerity. Here, the sacred is expressed through order and balance, a sound world built on meditative reverence. Most of the recordings I found online were made by amateur musicians, which is fitting, since Tallis wrote this piece for lay people. Here's one that was made during the pandemic by members of the choir of St. David's Church in Exeter. Singing the text, our chorus will be singing the doxology.
Praise God from whom praise God flows, praise God flows, praise God flows, praise Him, praise Him, praise
Around the same time across the channel, Giovanni Pier Luigi da Palestrina was doing something slightly different in his Missa Brevis, or Brief Mass, probably composed around 1558, just a few years before Tallis's canon. While still rooted in Renaissance polyphony, a musical texture that is essentially a tapestry of overlapping voices, Palestrina's setting is a masterclass in economy and clarity, which is perhaps why it was called a Missa Brevis. It wasn't necessarily because it was shorter. All the text is there, but his economy of means is stunning. The Council of Trent, the 16th century council of the Roman Catholic Church, urged composers to aim for clarity of text and stylistic reverence. Palestrina answered in flowing lines, carefully controlled dissonances, and transparent counterpoint. Unlike Tallis's compact canon, this mass is a space, a musical space for architectural beauty. It's structured like a cathedral of sound. Flash forward a century, and the musical map has changed again. In Protestant England, sacred music nearly vanished during the Puritan Commonwealth, but with the Restoration in 1660, it returned in full force. Henry Purcell, writing for the re-established Chapel Royal, reimagined what sacred music could be. Rejoice in the Lord Alway, composed in the early 1680s, balances Anglican textual clarity with Baroque flourish. You'll hear solo voices and dialogue with the chorus, shifts in meter and texture, and even instrumental motifs that sound like bells pealing, leading to the nickname Bell Anthem. Compared to Tallis or Palestrina, Purcell's anthem is more overtly dramatic without abandoning reverence. The same blending of sacred and dramatic reaches completely new heights in Cladio Monteverdi's Beato Sphere, probably composed around 1630. A generation before Purcell, Monteverdi was on the cutting edge of opera and also pioneered something called the seconda practica, a style of composing where the words, not compositional rules, guide the music. His sacred music is full of rhythmic vitality and text painting, where the music illustrates the words, and concertato style, where voices and instruments are used in alternation, creating an almost stereo-like effect. Blessed are those who revere the Lord, according to the psalm, but here that blessing bursts into joyous musical life, almost operatic in its expressivity. Even if you don't read music, the difference between what we've heard so far and what Monteverdi does is visible in the score. His wanton repetition of words, the way he moves between groups of musicians while the instrumental returns or ritornellos provide connective tissue. We find ourselves in a completely different world with William Byrd's Averum Corpus, a hushed gem of recusant Catholicism in Protestant England. Composed in 1605, the work wasn't intended to dazzle or impress, although it's so gorgeous that it probably did inadvertently. It was probably sung in secret, and it almost sounds like an inward prayer. Every suspension and gentle dissonance feels like a sigh of devotion. Where Monteverdi moves outward, Byrd turns inward. Sacred music not as celebration, but almost as quiet consolation. This visual rendition that I found, I think, really brings to life the way that performers work together as a single entity, ensuring that every word is conveyed. Finally, we arrive at Johann Sebastian Bach's Singet dem Herrn ein neues Lied. Composed in Leipzig around 1726, it stands as a monument to Lutheran musical theology. In 3 sections, Bach sets 2 psalms and a chorale in double choir counterpoint, so brilliant that even Mozart, upon hearing it decades later, asked to see the score, saying, "Now there is something one can learn from." Bach's sacred music doesn't just support the liturgy, it synthesizes nearly all of the styles we've heard as it conveys a text. It's intellectual and expressive, grounded in scripture, but soaring toward heaven. can't end without briefly mentioning the most famous piece on the program, a composition by one of Bach's contemporaries, Johann Pachelbel's Canon and Jig. A late 17th century work that was rediscovered in the early 20th century, the canon is built on a repeating bass line that grounds a series of violin variations. The Jig is actually rarely performed. I think you'll be surprised when you hear it. But the canon is one of the most popular classical pieces today and is especially synonymous with weddings. I set off on a quest to find the most unusual uses for the Pachelbel canon, knowing I'd find quite a few. At the 2024 Paris Olympics, Christine and the Queens performed a powerful song called Full of Life that is more than a little indebted to the canon.
Pain shifting, rising. Sees my head in regret, there might not be another vision. When that makes me forget, I wish I was another person. And we still try every night to go make sense of it. Fighting over love, still try every night to bound over something. Fighting over love.
More curious is its use in the 1993 DOS-based video game Dark Ages, in which the canon serves almost as a reward for reaching the end of this side-scrolling platformer. Reflecting on our journey through time, what changed was not the purpose of sacred music, but the style, how composers chose to frame the divine. From Tallis's clarity to Monteverdi's drama, from Byrd's secret counterpoint to Bach's motet that even impressed Mozart, what emerges is a theology of sound, the sacred heard not only in text, but in tone, line, and form. I hope this talk gave you new insights into celestial voices, which the Music of the Baroque Chorus and members of the Music of the Baroque Orchestra will perform on May 11th at Saints Faith, Hope, and Charity Catholic Church in Winnetka and May 12th at Fourth Presbyterian in downtown Chicago. You can also hear it on demand from May 16th through June 16th. This is the end of our current season, but as the saying goes, as one door closes, another opens, and there's much to come in just a few months. You'll find out all the details of our 55th season, our Emerald anniversary, online at baroque.org/emerald. Thank you so much.